This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook. And as always, if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Today I want to talk about Casey Anthony and what happened with Casey Anthony and Kaylee Anthony. Casey Anthony was described as the most hated mom in America. Okay, and this is heating up again. So this here is Casey Anthony. Most of us recognize her. She was described as the most hated mom in America. This is heating up again because Casey Anthony, an American Murder Mystery, is now a 3-part miniseries, is airing on Investigation Discovery. They're reviewing what happened to her daughter Kaylee Anthony. Essentially, 31 days after Kaylee went missing, the mother, after her daughter, 2-year-old daughter Kaylee went missing, the mother of Casey Anthony reported Kaylee missing. A police dog, a cadaver dog, smelled dead body in the trunk, and so that was July 15th, 2008. On December 11th, 2008, 6 months later, Kaylee's skeletal remains were found in a blanket inside a trash bag in a wooded area near the family home. Okay, also Casey was, a witness testified, the neighbor testified that he lent Casey a shovel the day that Kaylee allegedly went missing. Casey was also seen out at clubs in Orlando. She's from Orlando, and she was seen partying with her friends for the month that Kaylee was missing, and she didn't seem concerned. She said she was mounting her own investigation, and all of her former housemates and roommates that partied with her during that month ended up being turning state's evidence and testifying against her, that she just didn't seem concerned about the missing daughter. She just wasn't upset, you know, things like that. Very damaging testimony. Casey was subsequently convicted of lying, so she's like a pathological liar. She was convicted of 4 counts of lying to investigators. So here's somebody who lies a lot. Her daughter was missing for 31 days before anyone reported the little girl missing. She was, you know, just all kinds of crazy things. So what happened? You know, I want to know, like, what happened. I mean, did she murder her daughter? I mean, the public seems to think so. So I've thrown a Celtic Cross here. That's a very popular spread. If you don't know it, then maybe you have been sleeping a lot. I don't know. So everybody knows the Celtic Cross. It has certain positions. It's a 10-card spread. It gives you a lot of information. And I go over it in the book, Playing Card Divination. Okay, so these are the first cards. This is the position of Casey, self, what's crossing. This is the foundation. This is behind. This is above. This is in front. So the first thing I notice here is that there's no female cards. Okay, this is about Casey Anthony. You know, Casey Anthony, what happened? And Casey Anthony is a woman. You know, she's the mother of little Kaylee, and there's no female cards. There's no queens. There's 2 kings. And this is in her position. So the first thought is, oh my God, maybe a man did this. Or, in the Magi Method, you know, a king is not necessarily a man. A queen is not necessarily a woman. This is male energy, and this is appearing in her self position. A male card takes proactive steps. Okay, so this is Casey's position. She took proactive steps. This is an active, proactive card to manifest what results that she wants. Crossing is olive tree, so taking steps to deal with the family, the rooted situation in the family. The foundation is this union, okay? And this is very much a marriage card. 2 diamonds, diamond ring is very much a marriage card. Like in a relationship, in a serious relationship, you want to see this. So any kind of, a mother and her child would show up as joined, like they are a family. This is a family card. This is a family card. Behind, so I think this is Casey and Kaylee, the daughter. Behind is the angel. Jacks are juveniles. They're neither male nor female, and if they're going to be people, they're very young energy, so this is usually a child. Okay, so here's the whole family. Here's Casey, here's the daughter. Now above her, she has the executioner. This is a question of, gosh, did she murder Kaylee? Well, there's a good possibility. I think we need to explore this card a little more. This is murder on the mind of Casey. Casey is showing up as somebody who just took proactive steps to manifest what she wants. Near future, in front of her, is the hamster wheel. Hamster wheel is about doing the same thing every day. It's a very heavy card. It's kind of like a drudgery card. These little hamsters, they're running on the wheel, but these little hamsters that I pictured here, they're going to work. They live in a crowded city. It's the rat race. I pictured the rat race there. So she was kind of just feeling very burdened by her family, all these tied down by her responsibilities, and the executioner is, can literally be a murderer, but can also just be somebody who makes a very unilateral decision. I'm going to do something about this, and they act. Okay, we're going to explore that more because, there's some serious questions here as to whether, in fact, she did murder her daughter. And a lot of people seem to think that she did. A lot of people seem to think that she did. Because there's just too much suspicion. The circumstances are too suspicious. The child was found in a trash bag in the woods next to the parents' home with duct tape around it. So it seemed that there was duct tape on the mouth to suffocate the child. The child is in a blanket and inside a trash, the trash bag and the duct tape will suffocate the child. Plus it was buried. Very suspicious. Okay, so this row, this is, this very much relates to this card. So water into wine, crossroads, earthquake, and strength. Water into wine is about transformation of a situation, and in these kinds of murder investigation things, this card, water into wine, often represents lying, fabrication, making something out to be other than what it was. Okay, so that showed up in the girl in Italy. This card showed up, and it showed up as lying. There was also some question. Casey also said that she thought that Kaylee drowned in the swimming pool. She also recently, her most recent statement was, I remember being in bed, my mom coming in before she left for work and saying goodbye to us. So us would be her and Kaylee. And then waking up several hours later in the morning and not knowing where Kaylee was. So she's a big liar. She was convicted of 4 counts of lying to investigators. Crossroads, so that reflects her personality. She'll just fabricate anything. crossroads, taking the child out of the house. The child was not found in the house, and buried at the crossroads in the woods behind the house. Earthquake, it's a disaster, everything changes at once. This could be a murder card. This can be a murderer, this can be a murder card. And the outcome is strength. Jack of Clubs can be a rooting, a new rooting. Jacks are young and it's a new rooting. So what I'm seeing so far, okay, and I guess the burning question that we all really have is, did Casey, what happened? But did Casey maybe murder Kaylee? Because it really kind of seems that way. And even though she was found not guilty of murder, people really seem to think that she did do it. So what do we have so far? This is proactive action, acting upon what is crossing the family, okay? She's joined to the child, okay? Kaylee, the child. She makes an executive decision about this huge burden in her life. There's a lot of lying. Everything goes out on the crossroads. Decisions and maybe burying the child out, a disaster, and a new rooting, a whole new situation. So one question I want to know here is this executioner. Okay, this did Casey murder Kaylee? Is that what this executioner is? Did she intentionally murder Kaylee? And so let's put 3 cards up and see what. Okay, interesting. So did Casey murder Kaylee? And it kind of, we've got the yes card showing up here. So yes, this is, okay, so in the middle we have the snake, and the snake is very cold-hearted. No feelings at all. The snake lies in wait. The snake is very calculating. The snake doesn't chase the antelope across the African savanna. The snake lies in the path and waits for the antelope to be distracted and come across its path, and then it strikes. So the snake is very cold-hearted, very calculating. Jacob's ladder is step by step by step. So very carefully planned at key events. And, did Casey murder Casey? Yes. So I think that yes, in fact, that's the burning question. Yes, in fact, I think that Casey did murder. It was calculated and planned and step by step, and she executed it carefully. So let's see, 14 and 12, that's 26, that's 7 diamonds. 26 equals 7 diamonds, finger of God. Okay, so the finger of God reaches down and changes everything. So with cold calculation and step-by-step planning, she reached down and changed everything. This is a unilateral decision by her. I'm sure some of you are going to have trouble that she shows up as a man, but this male energy simply means, okay, men and women, whether you're a man or a woman, all men and women have a mix of positive and negative energies, male and female energies. And they can express more male energy sometimes or more female energy. Here she's expressing some female energy, but this is specifically calculating in cold energy, and here she's expressing some more male energy. The male energy here simply represents that she took positive actions to manifest her goals. Very positive, very firm and strong actions. The other card that I want to know about is the outcome. The outcome position of Jack of Clubs is very, very important. And we want to know, what is the Jack of Clubs? What does it represent here? What does this outcome represent? Okay, so we're going to put three cards down here for the outcome. What is this outcome, this Jack of Clubs outcome represent? Okay. Yeah. So it's a new routing. Okay. So let's look at this here. Let's look at the whole spread. So she was seen out partying, and it's a big burden to have this child, and the outcome is strength, or Jack of Clubs, which is also like a new routing. Jacks are brand new, new routing. So what's the explanation of the Jack of Clubs here? We've got cornucopia, mustard seed, and roadblock. So a new mustard seed is planting a new seed. Cornucopia, 8s are everything. Okay, so she felt blocked, and she wanted to change, start over her whole life. She wanted to reset her whole life, start over because of this roadblock. And let's see, this 14, 15. 15 is 4 clubs. Okay, so 4 clubs is active and lucky, and so she took action to change everything and have a fresh start, a new routing. So the whole point of this was to start over. Another question that we want to know, okay, to close the loop on all this stuff is, did Casey, did the father help bury Kaylee? Okay, that's another thing that we need to know. Did the father help bury Kaylee? And so let's throw 3 cards on, did the father help bury Kaylee? Okay, so we got 2 3s. So did the father help bury Kaylee? Okay, if one person, let's zoom in on that a little. If one person buried Kaylee, like Casey, there would just be single cards here. We would see a woman, we would see, single kind of cards, like a 9 clubs, but we're seeing 3s. Okay, 2 is a couple, 3 is building action and people working together. There's this actually makes me think that the mother was involved as well. So, because there's a nuclear family here. There's the mother, the father, and then there's Casey, and that's 3. And they all live together in that house. Okay, so did the father help bury Kaylee? Okay, so we have Trinity, roses, and son. As a gift to his daughter, he worked with her. Trinity is people, is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost all working together in perfect harmony. So as a gift, working with her, when he found out, okay, the son exposes everything, he helped her bury her. Because I asked, did he help her bury her? Okay, this is 7, 6, 7, 8 is 2 spades. So 2 clubs, handcuffs, that's 2 people joined together. So the father helped Casey to bury the daughter. Okay, interesting reading. There's going to be, I don't know if all of this examination that they're going to do is going to lead to more clarity or less clarity. But I think the cards are pretty clear here. So, to recap, Casey Anthony, what happened? Okay, so here's Casey. We all know Casey. That was a big hullabaloo. Here's little Kaylee. I didn't use the Photoshop version of this. And she was murdered at 2 years old. And there's not much dispute. Well, there's a little dispute that she was murdered. Okay, so what do these cards tell us? Okay, well, Casey, this is a question about Casey. Casey's showing up with male energy. This is somebody who makes a plan and takes action. She's taking action about her family, the situation in her family, and this joining. With who? With the child. Jacks are children. She makes an executive decision. This can also be a murderer. Okay, I asked, did she murder Kaylee? And the answer is yes. She very cold-heartedly took step-by-step actions, and she murdered the child. Okay, that's pretty clear. And the reason she did this is because hamster wheel is the same thing every day, very heavy, very heavy. She just It was just too heavy. Her reality was too heavy. She had the child at 19. When her parents found out she was pregnant, she denied it. This row, okay, she's a water into wine. She's a pathological liar. She was convicted of 4 counts of lying. She blamed everybody. She blamed an imaginary babysitter and said that the babysitter abducted the child. They went to that house. There was nobody who ever lived there by that name, and nobody could find or identify that person. And so that just seemed like a lie. She said that the baby drowned in the pool. There's no evidence of that. She said that the parents had the baby at the time. There's no evidence of that. Crossroads, the child is taken out of the house and buried. Everything changed all at once. And it's about a new rooting. She wants to start over. Her reality is too heavy. She took action. She killed the child. She wants to start over. This is starting, Mustard Seed is starting everything all over. Her whole world, she just felt really stuck and blocked. She wanted to restart her whole world. She's only 21 years old at that point. I'm going to say it didn't work out very well because, I don't know. I mean, it's still coming up. And she was the most hated mom in America, and maybe there's good reasons for that. Did Daddy help Casey bury the baby? Okay, the baby was not reported missing for 31 days. Okay, I'm thinking everybody knows, right? And everybody knows. And she's living at home with mom and dad. I'm pretty sure. Gosh, I hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure she's living at home with mom and dad with the baby. And so, I mean, they're going to notice if the baby's not there for 31 days, right? And even if she's not living at home with them, they're going to notice. So did Dad help Casey bury the baby? Yes, he did. Absolutely, he did. He loves his daughter, you know, and he wants to help her. These are very bright cards. It's not like, this doesn't indicate that he had anything to do with the murder. This is just him helping his daughter because he loves his daughter. That's basically it. What happened with Casey Anthony? She murdered her daughter. Okay, that's what my cards are telling me. She murdered little Kaylee. And she did it intentionally, and she planned it very cold-heartedly. And unfortunately. So that's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book on Amazon worldwide in Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook.